Hello, good evening and welcome to my channel. My name's Becca and it's the 6th of December 2020, which makes it day 6 of Ash. It is also St Nicholas's Day today. Christmas tree is up. I grew up in Germany, so St Nicholas's Day was quite a special day. On the 5th of December we would put shoes outside our doors, and if you were lucky enough for St Nicholas to come and visit you, you would either get a piece of coal if you had been naughty, or a nice sweet treat, or sometimes a little tangerine in your shoe the next morning if you'd been good. Well, tonight I'm going to read you another story out of Enid Blyton's The Greedy Rabbit, and other stories. And I thought tonight I would read you one called Bubbly's Trick. Bubbly was a water pixie. He lived in the little stream that ran through Buttercup Meadow, not far from the wizard's twisty cottage. Bubbly was a mischievous, naughty, tricky little pixie, always having a joke, always playing a prank. "One day you will get in trouble," said his brother Trickles. "It's all very well to play tricks on me, Bubbly, or on the other water pixies, but just be careful not to try your little games on the wizards or a passing witch." "Oh, that's a fine idea," said Bubbly at once. "I'd love to trick old Twisty Wizard. Now let me think." "Don't be silly," said Trickles, and swam off in disgust. Bubbly sat on a stone under the water and tickled a green frog, and thought and thought. He couldn't think of any trick to play on the Twisty Wizard, so he thought he would go up to the cottage where he lived and see if any joke came into his head there. He swam to the edge of the stream, clambered out among the sweet-smelling water-mint, and ran through the buttercups and daisies to the wizard's crooked little cottage. He peeped in at the window. The wizard was stirring a spell in a big dish by the window. He didn't see Bubbly's cheeky face peeping in. The water pixie chuckled and rubbed his hands. He had thought of a fine trick. He would go and buy some sherbet at the sweet shop, and when the wizard wasn't looking, he would pop it into the bowl of magic, and it would all fizzle up and give old Twisty such a shock. Off went Bubbly and brought a penny's worth of white sherbet at the sweet shop in a paper bag. He stole back to the cottage and peeped in. The wizard had finished stirring his bowl of magic and was doing something to the fire at the other end of the room. Now was Bubbly's chance. In a trice he put his hands in at the window, shook out the powder from the paper bag, and then waited to see what would happen. The powder fell into the bowl of the magic, where the strange spells were stirring. As soon as the sherbet touched the magic liquid, there came a great sizzling noise, and all the stuff in the bowl rose up like a snowdrift. It frothed over the edges of the bowl onto the table, and Bubbly grinned to see such a sight. The Twisty Wizard turned round when he heard the sizzling noise. He stared at the frothing bowl in the greatest astonishment. Then he rushed to it, shouting, "The spell has gone wrong! Jumping broomsticks, the spell has gone wrong!" He took up the bowl and threw all the magic in it straight out the window. And as you know, Bubbly was just outside, so it went all over him in a trice. He fell down in a fright, soaked through, and oh my, whatever do you think? When he got up he had turned bright blue. He looked down at himself in horror and fear. A bright blue pixie? Whatever would everyone say to him? "Oh, oh, oh," wailed Bubbly, quite forgetting he was just outside the window. The wizard heard him howling, and at once popped his head out. When he saw Bubbly there, he growled like an angry dog, stretched out his hand and grabbed hold of the frightened pixie. In a moment he was standing in the kitchen before the furious wizard. "Did you put anything into my bowl of magic?" roared Twisty. "Yes," sobbed Bubbly. "I put in some sherbet and it made it all fizzle up." "You wicked, mischievous, interfering, meddling little creature," cried the angry wizard. "That spell took me 4 months to make, and now I have thrown it out of the window." "It's made me blue," sobbed Bubbly. "Of course it had," said Twisty. "It was a spell to make blue lightning, so it turned you blue as quick as lightning. What's your name?" "Bubbly," said the pixie. "Oh, I've heard of you before," said Twisty. "You're the pixie that makes himself a nuisance to everyone by playing stupid tricks. All right, this is the last trick you play. I shall send you to the Gobble-Up Dragon to be eaten." Now Bubbly was indeed frightened. He tried hard to think of some way of escape. How could he outwit the wizard? He must think hard. "Yes," he said at last. "Send me to Gobble-Up. I don't care what you do with me as long as you don't drown me." "Oh, so you don't mind going to Gobble-Up," said Twisty. "Well, if it's no punishment, I won't send you there. I'll pop you into my big saucepan, turn you into a goose, and have you for dinner." "Yes, do that," said Bubbly. "But please, I do beg of you, don't drown me." "Oh, so you'd like being turned into a goose, do you?" said Twisty. "Well, I'll think of something else. I'll sit you on a broomstick that will take you to the Green-Eye Witch. You can be her servant for 100 years. "That would be nice," said Bubbly. "Yes, do that," said Twisty. "Do that, Twisty Wizard. Anything, if only you won't drown me." "What, you'd like to go to the Green-Eye Witch?" said the wizard in surprise. "Well, I certainly won't send you there. I will turn you into a green frog and give you to my pet duck." "Oh, do," said Bubbly. "I'd like that, but please, please don't drown me." "Well, I think I will drown you, seeing you are so scared of that," said the wizard spitefully. He caught hold of Bubbly and dragged him out of the cottage and down the stream. Then he threw him splash into the water and stood by to watch what happened, rubbing his hands in glee to think what a fearful punishment he had given the pixie. But Bubbly swam to the other side at once in delight. Then he popped out his cheeky head, now a bright blue, and sang out, "I'm so pleased to be home, Twisty, I'm so pleased to be home. Many, many thanks to you." Then he swam off to tell his brother all about it. The bright blue gradually wore off, but he still has blue ears, so if you meet him you are sure to know him. He's the mischievous, cheeky little Bubbly. The end. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, join me tomorrow for day 7 of Ass. Bye bye.